If you've ever migrated the almighty Combat Llama herd all the way to Idaho to collab with Mr. Garand Thumb, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. Today, we're going to be attempting to educate the masses of Americans to make you more capable for your Minecraft server. Of course, without needing an introduction, we have Mr. Garand Thumb.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so the goal here in the prepare to fight, I guess, agenda is very simple. An individual said that civilians should not be taught military tactics, more importantly, infantry tactics for your Minecrafting needs for defensive use only, of course. Our goal here in this collaboration is we are going to teach you everything that we have time to teach you over the next 3 days. So what you guys should expect over the next probably 2 to 3 weeks of your life is every day you're going to see Garand Thumb and I standing here. He's much taller than me, so insert the mogging.
Not too much.
Insert the mogging memes down below. Yes, I'm getting mogged by Garand Thumb, but you should expect a video a day for the next couple of weeks of us attempting to spread whatever knowledge. So let's talk about Pedigree, and of course, hit the like button, do all the YouTube stuff that really does help out a ton. Leave a Combat Llama emoji down below, and if you want to support this channel, you can grab a U.S.-made Almighty Combat Llama herd, your hated Train Like It patch, and of course, it only seems necessary to patch you into the Almighty Combat Llama herd.
Appreciate you. Shake, take, salute, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
So it's kind of, I don't know how familiar you are with it. It's just a thing that we've kind of adopted here on my channel of like, hey, we really are hated, and
True.
You're hated. You can use that universally, but I think we all know what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Good, freedom-loving Americans, you're hated, and it's time to just start training like it and prepare accordingly. So do all the stuff. So Pedigree. This doesn't matter, but it is important for guys that click on this for the first time that want to know where we're coming from. So do you want to talk about your background?
Sure. My name is Michael Jones. Run the channel Garand Thumb. My pedigree is I spent 12 years in the military. Spent the first half as a SEER specialist, specializes in survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. It's a very specialized career field, does a lot of cool things in the Air Force. I'm sure you worked with them. Beyond that, afterwards I transitioned, so I Mustanged over to officer, became a TAC-P officer.
Very base. /
JTAC, otherwise known as like Special Warfare Officer within the Air Force. Awesome career. Had a parachute failure, broke my neck, and that will get you med retired, and that 100% got me med retired, but thanks to the VA and a couple other guys, I'm feeling mostly okay.
Yeah, I'm getting mogged here.
No, absolutely not, man, because you have a very, very important base. A lot of people are like, it's literally, what you are to me is literally the Chad infantryman versus the Virgin.
Oh, the meme?
The Virgin soft
It's like
guy.
the high cut.
I'm like, unless I have like 8 F-16s, you know. And
close air support, 3 Bradley fighting vehicles.
It all matters, but it's all different experience, which is why I think this is going to be very interesting. Because not only are we going to get it from the Army infantry experience, we're also going to get it from the more enabler experience. I was not infantry. I was never infantry. Call me a pug. That's very true, because I never served in Army
You're
infantry.
a force multiplier at asset.
100%.
And those attachments, like what you're going to talk about here today, those attachments are what caused the modern Army to fail or win a large-scale combat operation fight. If you don't have those enablers, you're cooked.
100%, man.
So.
Everything is about distribution of skills. You can't have every guy be a saw gunner because you're going to get smoked. Just like you can't have every guy be a JTAC because, well, then we need way too much crab and lobster.
Right.
So that doesn't work.
Right.
But please, I'd love to get into it.
And just for my background, guys,
please.
you guys know if you've been here 13 years, senior non-commissioned officer, active duty, infantry, drill sergeant, instructor.
We're actually a lot of the same bases. I found out you spent a lot of time in Alaska. As
right, 3 years in Alaska.
Nice.
I was a weapons squad leader up there, so I'm sure we're going to talk about machine gun theory, I guess. Spoiler alert for them.
Can't wait. We have
the cone of fire, beaten zone. It's going to be a good time. But yeah, I'm just a dude that's done a lot of things, and we're just here to spread the information.
Let's do it.
Episode 1, you're in it. We're going to talk about formations in order of movement. So formations in order of movement, basically, this is the bread and butter. If you don't know how to walk in the woods, walk through a city, if you don't know what an ORP is, pace, Gotwa, seals, SOSRA, and all the basics, and if you feel like you're being overwhelmed right now, it's because we are both
overwhelmed.
we're very high energy personalities in the same room, and that's good for our audience.
That's absolutely perfect. No, these things are very important. I think starting with the ORP is this stuff is boring when you do it. How many days? How many years have you spent just setting up ORPs?
There is a private watching this right now that is not supposed to be on their phone. They're probably in an ORP.
ORP right now. He's like, private, get your face up.
Yeah, ORP. So an ORP, and I'll kind of explain it what it is. It is the place where, if you've seen Saving Private Ryan, this is always the example I give. Captain Miller, they're about to take the MG-42 on the hill, and they start dropping all their stuff, and they leave it at the base of the hill, and it says ammunition, frags. That's all you need for Minecraft, right? So I'm going to say that a lot for defensive purposes only.
Armor
guys.
3.
Right. Tarkov. By the way, if you want to play Tarkov, join the freaking Almighty Herd. So the objective rally point is where they dump all their heavy gear and they're basically cross-loading ammunition. It needs to be, the doctrine answer is 300 meters away or one key terrain feature. Mike, if you were within 300 meters with a, looking around, with any of the things you see in the background here, is 300 meters a very easy shot?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
300 meters is super easy. So beyond just terrain features, like when we talk about it, we're talking about cover, at the very minimum, concealment, depending on something, because you are getting very close. And why it's so important to have those objective rally points is we say light infantry, and that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about. You're a light infantry member essentially going onto assault, but you're anything but light. You have ammunition, grenades, explosives, food, water.
Batteries.
You say, I'm a civilian, when am I going to get that? I don't know, crime maybe. But the point is, you're going to have a lot on you, and you're going to want to strip down so that you can maneuver more effectively. Because imagine having, your 4,500 cubic, inch pack on and trying to assault. You can, but much more important is going to be setting up that ORP.
Right. So typically you'll mark it with some sort of VS17 panel, IR, whatever your method of marking is. We're going to talk about pace in a little bit. By the way, if you don't have your notebook, boom, shout out to where I came from before. But if you don't have a notebook or at least your phone or something, taking notes, this is going to be a lot of information that a lot of people would charge you a lot of money to teach you, and we're doing it because we want to do it to spread the information. I'm not just saying that. So you really should be taking notes, and if you get overwhelmed, this isn't to insult anyone's intelligence, back it up, write it down, whatever. But yeah, ORP, drop the gear off. It's where you're going to move fast. And maybe as a forward observer, you may carry extra mortar rounds. You may carry extra 240. Me, when I was a weapons squad leader, we would sometimes cross-load, especially if they were
100%.
competent. If that forward observer was super competent and maybe you had some Joeys that weren't really spun up, hey, can you carry a spare barrel or whatever? Because he's already going to be carrying batteries and stuff.
When we talk about objective rally points, we're talking about getting into an assault. So when we talk about importance in assault, we're talking base of fire. And I don't mean to throw too many terms out there, but your support gunner, whatever he may be, whether you have an AR-15 with a heavy barrel and it's cooled well, or I hope you have a SAW or some other good open bolt weapon, everyone's going to carry a belt.
Right.
Everyone's going to carry a belt.
Mortars, 60 millimeter.
100%. You need to have that stuff up because the fact of the matter is that rifles do typically account for a very small percentage of kills. I hate to say it, but it's true. Having that support
Casualty
elements.
producing weapons.
100%, man. You got to have that stuff ready to go.
Right. Okay, so we have killed ORP, pace. Very simple, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. So right now, if I were to go outside, and this is going to play right into Gotwa. If I were to go outside and say, hey, Mike, I'll text you when I get outside if I can't find something. Okay, phone goes down. Hey, I'll yell. If I go outside and get in contact, I'll yell. Okay, contingency, I'm going to throw a flaming rock or a VS17. I'm going to throw it over so we can see it. Emergency, in this case, maybe a whistle, right?
Flare, whistle.
Right.
Like the point that you get into is you're getting increasingly less clandestine, at least in the work that I did. So it's like, hey, primary, I got my radio. Hopefully you have a radio on you. You don't want to be using your cell phones. You're going to get schwacked by a rivet joint from.
Yeah, don't have your, what is it, the Tinder app, the Polish dudes with the Tinder app on the border, and then all of a sudden 120s start coming in. It's like, maybe don't have your.
I can't emphasize enough without getting too deep into modern military doctrine how easy it is to crack your stuff. So at the very least, your primary should have a 256-bit encryption or something on it. So we have a radio. Boom. Alternate could be something as simple as a different frequency. It can be as simple as that.
Or single channel plain text.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Because as you change frequencies, radio theory here, it definitely does change your ability to receive, but also could potentially increase your probability of detection. Contingency, like, hey, we're getting a little weird here. Hey, I gotta fire a flare into the air. Like, no shit, like, I need help. And
the Army likes to use people's helmets
and
burn their helmet covers because you're signed for it from your clothing record.
It worked. And hey, emergency, the whistle, I've heard that all the time. That's been a big one.
When we get to it, probably tomorrow or whenever they're saying this, it'll be like a week, but we'll probably go over like chest rigs and like what we prefer.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have a whistle, and if you're a saw gunner, if you don't have a flathead screwdriver, there's so many things that we're going to talk about.
You have some lube on you. Fix yourself.
That's a universal tip. Okay, Gotwa.
Gotwa's a great one.
So Gotwa, what I like to talk about Gotwa is or my students in the past, if I said, Gotwa, hey, if you're going to the bar, who are you taking with you, time that you'll be back, what to do if you don't return, actions on contact. So hey, Mike, I'm going to the bar, I'm taking a Nighthawk with me. I'm going to be there, you know, till 13:15. Wow, why are we drinking so early in the day? It's a problem.
It's a Friday.
Yeah,
You got released early.
If you don't hear from me from 13:30, right, then you need to come try to find me. Actions on contact. If you get in a fight here in the studio, then I'm going to return to you or whatever our plan is.
So something I've always done with Gotwa, and this is some seer shit right here that we used to teach all the time, because this is when it gets really important. So here's what's the big one, right? Because we can really make do with all this. We can make things happen. I can find you, but if truly we make contact and he's out scouting, we got a problem because we got to break contact. And sometimes you typically are going to have a plan. Hey, if we make contact, I'm going to go north. But sometimes combat goes crazy and you don't know which direction you need to head. So one thing that we would do is we'd use the dick and balls method. Have you heard of that?
Okay, no, hit me with it.
Dick and balls method is great. So you're going to take an arrow, you're going to clandestinely make an arrow. Now there's a lot of ways to do this. We used to take a stick, just take 2 sticks and make like a little arrow. And then you have a rock on the left side for every person in your squad.
I've never heard this before, and I've been doing this for over a decade. This is exactly why we're doing this.
Yeah, this is like big evasion stuff right here. So as your squad members are able to meet up at these designated areas, because you'll say, hey, if I can't go north, I'll go east. If I can't go east, I'll go south. If I can't go south, I'll go west. As you meet up and you hit these rocks, you basically take the rock identifying yourself and you put to the right saying, hey, check. The object is the last guy is able to, hey, I have accountability of everybody. That's not always the case, but it's a completely what we consider very emergency way of tracking it. And you keep making these every, whether it be 500 meters, 1,000 meters, a kilometer, depending on how your team does it. We used to take glow sticks, we crack them, cut them, and then paint it a little bit at night to kind of have it show up a little bit better on nods. It's not the best method, but if things are really going crazy, I love the dick and balls method.
Yeah, I mean,
and you'll never forget that again.
Yeah, there's certain things. This is why this is great. I've never even heard of about that. And what you guys have already seen is how everything on this whiteboard is already. If you forget one, you're cooked. Like, for lack of a better term. So if you don't have a Gotwa, you're not gonna have your phone. You're not gonna. The biggest way, have you ever been recalled in the military and done it? Okay, so they take your phone, and now you don't have a way, and then they start scheduling for the operations order or for the military decision-making process. They start planning timelines to back brief, because if we don't have a time to back brief, if you're out with your guys, I'm out with my guys doing rehearsals, you're doing planning, but we don't have a time to sync, you're never going to see them, because that's a Gotwa for admin purposes, and you can use a Gotwa with your family right now. Every time your spouse goes to work or you go to work or whatever,
so important.
Have a Gotwa, because when that grid, we're all over the place, but that's fine, dude.
No, that's normal.
When the grid goes down and you don't have a good Gotwa and a pace plan, even if you're like, I'm watching this and Minecraft isn't happening and the world hasn't ended, well, guess what? If you don't have a Gotwa for your everyday life, when it happens, you're gonna remember this video. And you're gonna think to yourself, I should have planned.
Should have had a Gotwa. Should have had a Gotwa.
Should have had a dick and balls.
I love Gotwa. Now, this right here, this is like bread and butter for every infantry. Like, if you're in the military and you don't know this, like your own face.
Your NCO has failed you, or
everybody.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Sorry, I love this stuff.
No, you're good.
Stop, look, listen, smell.
So before we even get into it, when does SEALs, so say you give the hand and arm signal, which typically is cup the ear. When does it actually start, though?
Dude, I'm doing it the entire time I'm
I'm saying, like, okay, say we're patrolling, and we halt, and we give the hand and arm signal SEALs.
Oh, dude.
Does it start when you give it, or when the last guy finally stops moving from knee to knee?
Truly, it's going to stop once the sound of your own movement stops. Because you're not going to be able to hear until your guys stop. I'm used to working really small teams.
Okay, so for infantry platoon,
oh my God,
for a platoon sergeant perspective, it's like
you walk for Joe Snuffy, 18 years old, to stop.
Literally, so for the infantry, like the airborne community or whatever, is like, or you could use it for even mechanized too, I guess, for dismounts. But you're literally waiting for that 18-year-old private that's hating his life, switching knees. They're switching knees because their knees hurt, and you're sitting there.
And you're like, shut up.
Yes, literally.
So this is where we talk about professionalism and really training well, because the difference, you've worked with foreign militaries, I've worked with foreign militaries, and the big difference you see between US, Five Eye, right, any UK, New Zealand, Australia, these guys are tuned in, they're trained to a high level, but when you work with some foreign military, and you're like, hey, let's halt, these guys are shuffling, these guys are making noise.
It's that Russian, the Eastern Bloc, what tactics. They have one lieutenant with no NCOs.
Yeah.
So it just takes forever for them to do anything. Even,
It does.
Even to clear a weapon. Like we have team leaders and we buddy clear.
Yeah.
And then a team leader checks and you're done.
As an officer, it'd be unheard of for me to micromanage any of my guys.
50 people.
That's unheard of. That's why we have NCOs.
That's how it was for Georgians and Ukrainians back in the day.
I mean, I was an NCO before I Mustanged,
Right.
and it's like I knew my guys. My officer trusted me to do it. I worked on my guys.
Decentralized.
100% decentralized. You guys have to be able to make decisions. Sorry, we're getting so far. Okay, stop, look, listen, smell. I love this so much. So, stop. Like, actually, stop.
Like your knee hurts, stop moving.
Stop. I don't care how hard, if you put your knee on a rock, stop. Because when motherfucker right here, excuse my language, tells you to stop, he might have seen something, he might have heard something. You simply shifting your knee could actually get you a burst from a machine gun. So when we say stop, we mean stop. And if you keep moving, you're going to owe push-ups. So stop, look. So what are we looking for?
Smoke, you're looking for, everyone always says cigarette butts, but PKM is not non-disintegrating belt. So the enemy in Minecraft uses a PKM machine gun. It's a really good weapon, actually. And the belts
Really
did not
good weapon.
disintegrate. That means ours, they disintegrate, so they're hard to see. It's just they blend in with snow, they blend in with dirt. You're looking for PKM belts because if they've been fighting there, obviously PKM belts. MREs, any sort of anything. Exhaust from a vehicle, a BMP, whatever you got.
One of my favorite things to do is in tree lines, it's really like, think of Alaska, so hard. So what I love to look for is heat.
Right.
That's so easy to see. Smoke's obviously see, but I love to, when you stay still and you focus on one area, the human eye is really good at movement.
Right.
So I just watch. And trees will sway, you just watch.
Because you're only as tall as the tallest thing you touch. And the
Exactly.
tree, do walking through the woods.
Yeah, exactly. And so everyone's going to have a sector of fire, right? You should have pre-planned and have those sections that you're looking at.
Right.
So you know where you should be looking. Therefore, that's where you're watching. And so look, actually look and pay attention. Be a professional. I can't say this again. In the military, I don't know how it is, but like sometimes I'd see like Joes who are so fucking on it, dude, and they were like really into it. Guys like, oh, you're being so lame. I'm like, no, they're being professional. Right. And it's really important that you take this seriously. Listen. Please.
Okay, so yeah, a lot of times if you think of like mechanized, everyone will start a vehicle in one exact time. So if you have 12 vehicles, every Bradley will start right at one time, because if you have 12 Bradleys start over the course of 10 minutes, that's going to sound extremely loud, right?
Yeah.
So you're listening for anything you would think. Obviously artillery. So for large scale combat operations, artillery is creeping fire. So what the enemy is going to try to do is they're going to literally, it's exactly what it sounds like. The fires will be creeping in. So you want to listen for creeping fire. You want to listen for starburst or flares going up, because you might be able to hear it before you see it, right?
Mortars especially, you can hear those in artillery. You can hear the pop before they actually income.
So you're listening,
incoming,
and you're also listening for your own people. If they're gassed, right? They're going to be gassed. I'm telling you right now, like we're going to be running around doing some stuff. We're both going to be gassed, and being able to judge your teammates and knowing how far and how hard you need to push the timeline for each other's stuff. But yeah, you're listening for anything you would think. And we're going to go right into smell. But let me tell you something. We are going to smell different as Western military-aged males than other demographics. That's what I'll leave that at. So we will smell different. That's going to get right into exhaust and cigarettes and whatever the enemy is using. Chow. Oh my goodness. So borscht. In Ukraine, they don't eat lunch. They have borscht and bread. That's their lunch. I don't know if you have experience with that. So
not too much.
yeah, so they bring out the truck. They used to. I don't know what's going on anymore, dude. Yeah, so you can smell that soup though. It's literally it's a rolling soup kitchen. But yeah, smell is huge, because your teammates are going to smell different. If you've been out in the woods and you smell some dude with deodorant or cologne on, and you've been out in the woods and you're about to do some things in Minecraft, that's going to let you know that where the enemy's at, because they're going to smell brand new, literally.
A thing I like to look at as well as gunpowder smells. So different types of ammunition smell differently. This might sound stupid, but knowing the smell of your own ammunition is going to be important. Hopefully you're somewhat standardized among your team.
I've never thought about that.
Yes, a smell, that's a big one. So like, not just that, but the smell of your actual ammunition. Russian ammunition smells far different from American ammunition. Even
it's corrosive too.
It's corrosive, but even between different manufacturers, from PMC Bronze to American Eagle, all the gunpowder smell different. So this is also something to think about.
I did not know that, dude.
Listen, I always think about really small unit tactics. I like that you think big picture. So I always think small unit tactics too. Another thing to think about is going to be footsteps. Think about also bird sound. So depending on the size of your squad, bird sound usually continue. Bird sound stops when they're spooked. So listen for animal sounds, bird sound, that's a really big one as well. So also, besides listening, the absence
Of sound.
of sound
Yeah.
is big. So again, be tuned in, know your area, because not everyone's going to have birds, but understand your area that you're in.
Birds aren't real though.
But yeah, they're all government drones. The point is the government drones ran out of batteries. So. But yeah, important.
Okay, so you'll probably love this one, Sosra. Okay, this is an engineer. This is kind of getting into squad leader and above, or platoon sergeant and above in the engineer aspect. If you want to do, and during this series, we're going to teach you guys how to do an ambush, how to do a raid. We're going to talk about guerrilla warfare tactics. Hopefully you can spell it properly, because half the time in the comments for the guerrilla warfare.
Harambe
Yes.
gorilla, like, you know, the
Yes.
actual rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah, the day the whole world went down. But yeah, so Sosra, suppress, obscure, secure, reduce, assault. All you're trying to do is isolate an area, okay? So suppress the enemy. Hey, Mike, cover me. Obscure the enemy. Smoke grenades, okay? Or whatever you have to actually obscure. Secure, that's going to be local security. And now I know I'm hitting you with a lot. Don't worry, we're about to draw it in a little bit. Suppress, obscure, secure the area with local security. Reduce, okay. You're reducing, not only are you reducing obstacles in your way, you're also reducing the enemy's combat power to be able to effectively engage you. And then assault. Assault, you're putting canoes in forehead, you're trying to put bullets in places that they belong. So if you don't have Sosra, what happens to you? Let's say right now, you want to go assault an objective and escape from Tarkov by yourself, but you don't literally do these steps.
You're going to get shit killed.
Yeah.
You're going to get smoked. You got to be able to do these first. Again, we never want to fight fair. We never want to have an enemy on the same playing field as us. Anything we can do to reduce their effectiveness, to increase our position, vitally important. So this stuff right here, it seems like not that much when you're looking at it, but my God, it is done. Okay, let me spray this here for you.
Okay, all right. If you guys got this far, do all the YouTube stuff. All right, we're doing the thing. All right, so the next part is how to walk. How to walk in the woods and how to actually, how to use a formation.
How do city kids walk in the woods?
They're stomping on the stomping on the ground. So a lot of you guys right now are going to be thinking to yourself, Trench, Garand, we don't have a platoon. We don't have a squad. Find buddies.
Yeah.
He has a community. I have a community. We're just dudes. If we have been able to make a community, you can find one. You can join ours. You can do whatever you want. Obviously, I'm not trying to like promote my stuff right now. I'm trying to be as sincere as possible when I say there are people out there that you can link in with that are like-minded, that want to go out and train and do this. Like
doing it alone is tough, guys. It's doable, but it's very tough. You should have some guys that you're working with.
You're gonna get cooked.
You're gonna get cooked, buddy.
You're gonna get smoked.
You got the best, most notable squad of 4 dudes, but you get ambushed by 30 dudes. That's 30 rifles on you, dude. That ain't gonna happen.
We're standing in a room with some of the coolest things I've ever seen, and that's obviously that's saying a lot. Like some of the coolest things, and none of this matters without training. None of it. I will take. There's probably some dude in the world that has all the stuff we're looking at in here, but doesn't know how to walk in a wedge.
I'm sure there's guys who have had the coolest guns in the world and are dead right now.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're gonna cover right now is very.
Oh, let's go. This is big army right here. Let's do it.
So we're gonna cover the basics, and if you don't know the basics, you're cooked. All right, so this is a squad column, fire team wedge. In a squad, in a rifle squad, okay, let me slow down. A rifle platoon is what wins wars. A rifle squad is what wins battles. Think about that. A rifle platoon is 40 to 50 dudes, depending on how good your manning is. Sometimes 30, right? If you're in, we'll leave that there. But a rifle platoon is what wins wars. A rifle squad is what wins battles. So if you're by yourself, or you don't have a squad, you need to go find it. But what you're looking at here is the preferred movement technique for a squad column fire team wedge.
This has been fairly well proven all the way back to World War II, was when it was really put into place, and it was found to be extremely effective. And it's proven to be effective pretty much in every conflict we've seen since. Now, you can hop in there and be like, you guys lost the Vietnam War, you guys lost okay.
Politics aside,
the man on the ground, we kill.
Yeah, killing things in Minecraft, in Tarkov, this is how you do it. Okay, so the Ranger Handbook, and oh, by the way, for the guy that's slamming his keyboard right now, like, why were you teaching everyone these tactics? This is going to get people killed. Ranger Handbook, ATP 3.21.8.
You might not know this, but the government information is actually literally free.
You can type it in, and you can read it. You can fact check us as you go, and you might even get something right. Yep. Okay, so Alpha team leader, Bravo team leader. In a squad, the squad leader is overall responsible for the overall success or failures of that squad's mission. However, the squad leader is in what's called an unfixed position. That means they can go anywhere in that formation for the overall success or failure of that squad. The Alpha team leader and Bravo team leader, according to the Ranger handbook, they are unfixed position. I'm going to tell you based on, that's a typo, okay? Based on training with them and training with all the units that I've ever been assigned to, the Alpha team leader and Bravo team leader, if this whole formation is moving this way, okay, to the 12, and they're moving straight ahead, if the Bravo team leader were to shift their position to go spot check over here as they're moving, what would happen to Bravo team? It would disintegrate and it wouldn't have a focal point. So the Bravo team leader and the Alpha team leader are in what's called fixed positions as well as their entire team. In each team, you'll have an automatic rifleman, okay, a grenadier, and a rifleman. For you watching this right now, well, this is where we may have differing opinions. For the Minutemen squad or the civilian squad, I think you should all have, and this is a whole video in and of itself, 5.56 9mm, okay? If that looks like Glock mags, or I'm carrying an M18 right now, whatever that looks like for you, universal. If Mike decides he's going to use Glock, I'm using Glock.
Yes.
If he's using 5.56, I'm using 5.56. And if you don't have the capability to actually feed an automatic rifleman, you should just have another dude with a 5.56 rifle, period. If you have a bunch of dudes with 11.5 BCMs or whatever you decide to choose, you're going to do a whole lot better than having some sort of dude that thinks he's a pig gunner from Vietnam that doesn't know how to run that gun. And we're going to teach you how to run that gun. But the point is, universal ammunition and equipment.
Agreed. Yeah, that matters more than anything. 100%. That's uniformity of parts, uniformity of magazines, uniformity of supply.
What you're wearing, like what you're literally wearing,
Yes.
Uniformity, everything down to the bare basics, it matters.
And you saw this, you saw problems with this as recently as the Ukraine war, where they actually, due to the different types of equipment, they started having to wear very brightly colored armbands because there was so little differentiation.
Multicam and multicam.
It was a problem. So like,
That's why M81 is based. We'll just leave that. We'll just leave. Yeah.
M81, it's pretty cheap.
Or
too.
Ranger green.
Yeah.
I like Ranger green too.
Dude, it doesn't matter what camouflage you use. Find a camouflage that's effective in your area because you're going to have other stuff on. But the biggest thing is field tag, because we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Okay, let's
Okay.
get into it.
Okay, squad call and fire team wedge. The point of this, you have 360-degree security. This is what's called it's just a balanced automatic rifleman on the left, automatic rifleman on the right. We're not going to focus so much
Is this
on
administrative results?
Here we go. Hey, shout out.
I love that guy.
I like his stuff too.
I love AR.
Yeah. Anyway, you can tell we're like both caffeinated and happy to be here. Okay, so this is the preferred movement technique. The reason why is 360-degree security, and you can actually respond to any battle drill that you need to do. The hand arm signal is this wedge right here. The reason you do it away from your body and not like this, because if we're wearing night vision, if we're wearing night vision, it doesn't look like anything. You have to be away from your body. So the wedge, the way all hand and arm signals work universally is if you call it, but you don't indicate where it begins right now.
Yep.
If you say wedge, and I don't tell you when to begin, you run to that formation right now. If I say wedge here, then at that pivot point, once you get to that spot, you literally go into that wedge formation.
And you better be submarine calling that. So when he does it, everybody behind him is going to do the exact same thing. You better pass that back. You don't pass that back, so help me, my NCOs will wreck you.
Yeah, so many Sergeant E5s are like, yeah,
get him.
So yes, the wedge, it's basic, but if you don't know how to walk in a wedge, now a lot of people will say, what is spacing? Here we go. You ready for this? MET-TC.
Yep.
Mission, enemy, time, terrain, troops, and civilian considerations. MET-TC is what goes on your NCOER, your OER in the past, and MET-TC is literally what determines it. If we're walking through a swamp and we can't effectively maintain this formation, we're going to break into a file or we're going to tighten our formation. If we're walking in a freaking field and we know we're going to get lit up over here for a freaking PKM, we're going to be way spread apart, but not so far apart that the squad leader cannot maintain visual contact with both of their team leaders and that the team leader cannot maintain visual contact with his team. If you're so far spread apart that you cannot maintain visual contact, can you work together if you can't see each other?
Not. That does not work.
Yeah.
Well, it can with radio calls, but let's talk about some generalities here. So MET-TC for everything. You see this in Ukraine quite a bit because there's not a lot of space maneuver due to the mine threat on the ground. So these guys are really having to kind of scrunch down on this. Generally what we say is, if you have the opportunity and the terrain provides for it, grenade distance. What that means is the grenade's not going to frag every fucking guy in the squad.
Right.
That's going to be helpful for you.
You got 5 meter kill, 15 maim, and 35 throw. You guys need to know that. Write that down.
That's really important for future stuff, especially ambush and assaults. Really important.
We're gonna cover. You guys might not see it for a couple days, but we're gonna talk about it in 10 minutes. But 5 meter kill, 15 meter maim, 35 meter throw. That's average. Well, not average. Okay, so
That's what we're looking at with an
M67.
With your typical U.S. grenades, understand we don't know what you're going to deal with, but this is a really good rule to stick to. As things devolve in Minecraft, you don't know what types of explosives you're going to be working with.
F1s or
RDGs, yeah, RDGs, whatever. Point is, stick with this for now.
So, and one thing to understand, American grenades, shrapnel. Okay, we kill things with shrapnel. The enemy in Minecraft kills things with the actual explosive and the concussive ability to suck the air out of your body and your brain. Yeah. Thus, light switch, right?
A lot of guys have had Russian grenades land right next to them. They've been okay.
Yeah.
Not that that's saying that that's always the case, because they're very effective. A lot of people have died from them, but just understand.
Yeah. Okay, so we beat the dead horse on the wedge. The hand and arm signal, we understand that if you indicate, that means it starts at that spot. If you don't indicate, then you go into it right away.
Okay, how do you guys do file? I want to see how you guys do it.
So file
with your hand signal. Boom. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Boom.
Unicorn.
Okay, so we should cover. We'll just go through them all real quick. We have seals. Seals complete. Okay, so this is for my.
That's fine.
So seals is cup the ear. Look around to all your teammates. Seals complete is when it's over. MET TC, mission, enemy, time, terrain, troops, civilian considerations, when that ends. File. Okay, if you don't indicate when it begins, everyone just immediately collapses into that file. If you do indicate file here, everyone only goes into it at that pivot point. The reason is, if you were in a wedge and you started a file here, and these guys are in a field, and there's a wood line up here, and you call file, this guy is now in a file in a field when he wanted to be in a wood line. So yeah, file.
Be a good leader.
Right.
Understand that your commands can have very big repercussions. You got to be a professional.
The only thing that's different about a file is that the Bravo team leader, and I'm about to save someone's career right now, the Alpha team leader is in charge of route selection, and frontal security, okay? Route selection and frontal security, they're the third most senior. The second most senior is the Bravo team leader. Their responsibility is the welfare and to assist the squad leader in their duties, and the overall senior team leader to maneuver on the enemy most of the time. They are going to be in the rear, not up here. Most people would think the Alpha team leader is going to be up here. No, they need to be in the rear for overall accountability of that formation. The squad leader can go anywhere they want. However, does it make sense for them to be leading? No, because they're going to get smoked. Does it make sense to be in the rear? No, because now they're not in charge. They're just along for the ride. So wherever they want in that formation.
If you want to know how to fail Ranger school,
yeah,
fuck that up.
And I'm not Ranger qualified, but I can tell you, having graded a lot of squad and platoon lanes, yeah.
You are a no-go at this lane. Is that how you guys say it?
Yeah, no-go. All right, so let's see. Boom. This is going to be called, what the Rangers will call it, this is going to be a modified wedge.
Yep.
I call it a stagger column.
We call it staggered column as well.
Okay.
Of course, this is within Air Force spec war, so
I think modified wedge sounds weird.
I think modified wedge sounds weird. Some Ranger's gonna reach to the screen, he's like, shut
You guys
up,
don't know. He's Air Force, and he's just a regular airborne dude.
Point is, we're gonna call it staggered column. I think that makes the most sense to me, because from a column formation, it's very easy to collapse out into this.
And the hand and arm signal is one, then the other. One, then the other. Very easy when you're tired. Okay, one, then the other. Got it. And remember, I'm gonna say it one more time, is again, because you need to know this, you indicate when it begins. So that is staggered column. It is exactly the same. Alpha team leader, Bravo team leader, squad leader, and then everyone else is the same. Okay, that is FOOM. Anything you want to hit to get them out of here for FOOM?
No, I think this covers it pretty well.
ORP, we'll cover it later.
Yeah, I don't want to beleaguer the point on this stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so this was a good intro, because if you don't have this was a 30-minute intro, but if you don't have a foundation, nothing that we're going to cover.
Guys, the stuff we talk about, this is months and months and years of training. So when we talk about, like, this was extremely abbreviated, like staggered column. Do you have any idea how many days or months you're just going to spend practicing this, collapsing into a file, going back out into it? And
we'll talk about for MET-TC, but there will be times when you have to walk near or on a road. There will be times. For LSCO, there's going to be mines everywhere. So toe poppers, whatever. So you may be on that road, because sometimes being on a road and dying from direct fire contact with the enemy is better than dying from a mine or a drone in an observable area. Okay, so we have killed formations at order of movement. I think this was a good foundation. What's going to happen now? We are going to begin what to expect. You guys will be seeing react to contact, break contact, squad assault, ambush, cross an LDA, raid,
God, I love LDAs.
Yeah, guerrilla warfare. We'll cover it when we get there. There's some legality we need to discuss, and then there's a couple more. Machine gun theory. That is what you can expect from the Prepare to Fight series. After that, we'll go out to the range and we're gonna do some awesome stuff, and it's gonna be a good collab. So if you're here for the party, hit the like button. Obviously, I'm assuming most of them are already subscribed to your channel, most likely.
Maybe it's different audiences.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. If you aren't, obviously, I've been following your stuff since I was maybe an E5 sergeant. So over a decade.
Thank you.
And obviously, there's a wealth of knowledge over there. So make sure you're subscribed to Garand Thumb. We're gonna get out of here, and if you want to support the channel, using the link down below. Oh yeah. There's a surprise. If you got this far, I should tell you. There's somebody that wants to give you a surprise. I'm not allowed to talk about it here on YouTube for reasons, but if you use the link down below and email me at trenchgrenade@AOL that you're here for your special surprise, I told these people not to do what they're gonna do, and it's crazy. I'll tell you in a second off camera. But yeah, use the link, do all the things, and until next time, it's gonna be Trench Grenade.
Garand Thumb. Thank you guys.
Signing off. Cheers.